Well, hello, friends, neighbors. John, your neighbor here. Welcome back down the Nook. I thought I'd shoot a quick comparison of two different releases of actually a favorite kind of staple sherried scotch for me. So this is Berry Brothers and Rudd. They are wine and spirit merchants out of London, and so they source their casks. I can't remember if they do their own blending or whatnot, but this is a blended malt. So I recently went and picked this up at Sierra Springs Airdrie, just outside of Calgary in Alberta. And I wondered, because I had a little bit left of this, is it any different? So this will be a bit of a comparison between their older branding and their newer branding. If you have any of the classic or core range Berry Brothers and Rudd, this is the sherried cask. Why don't you pour a dram? When you come back, we'll sip, we'll share, we'll just share some thoughts. 3, 4. Thanks for coming back. Actually, the hardest part of shooting this was, do I talk this bottle, which for me has been how I've gotten to know it over the last fairly many years. This, as I said, I get it out of Airdrie. It's usually on sale about $45 Canadian. It's 44.2%. It's fully sherried. Now it is a blend of malts, so it's not a single malt, not one distillery, but these guys put it together and they sell it for a great price. So I think I'm going to go with the old, well, that's the way I poured it, and then I'm going to try the newer release to see if my palate can determine any kind of difference at all. First one, Berry Brothers and Rudd, full sherry. What's it called? Sherried cask, or the classic range, sherry cask matured. Nose and palate. This is just a full sherry dram. They've picked the nose blend and whatnot. It's rich, darker, slightly leathered, like closer to prune, seasoned red fruits. Definitely on the nose. Still sweet, not quite cherry sweetness, but lots of red, almost plum type fruiting. Try it on the palate. Sancha. In the palate, I do have those fruits, but there's a little bit of sourness coming in, a little bit of pithiness going on, slight fudge, a little bit of bitterness on the end. So I know this sounds pretty negative. Actually, the palate's pretty good. But in this case, this nose is far richer than the palate. The palate's good, it's enjoyable, it's a full sherried scotch. Not a lot of finish, not a lot of, char oak or something really coming along finish, but it's nice on the palate, it's flavorful, and the nose is just rich. This pretty much always on the shelf. So even though these two bottles are in my house, I haven't done this directly. I wanted to look at, okay, so they've changed their branding, looks okay, but everything else is the same. The same fellows, I'm going to forget their names, so I'll just look here at Ronnie Cox and Doug McIver are still the ones picking and buying the spirits. Still released at 44.2%. And as a bonus, I recently bought this for the same price. It was on sale. Regular now it's 55, but I got it for 45. So we'll see if this new release, now that I'm doing straight head to head, any difference. This particular release is different. This nose has those sherry notes, but it's a little bit even more savory, a little more ground cinnamon, edge of clove kind of thing, a little more spicy. This is more fruity. This is, it's not fresh fruit, but more leathered red. Like I think I was using plum, like a real juicy red fruit is here. This has a little more spicing. Let's try it on the palate. Sancha. It suffers a little bit the same kind of sourness, but not quite as much. I can even, as I'm breathing in and out, get a little more almost chocolates on this one. And here, I think I did say the word fudge, but it's more because it was candy and a little bit of cocoa. But this, I actually can get some chocolates on, darker fruits. Finish is still, I would say, the weakness of these. I think they both have good noses. Their palates are tasty. But both of them don't finish super strong. It kind of empties into a cocktail cherry type a little bit, and not as much depth as I would want. That said, I over the years have come back to this release because it is phenomenally affordable. It's all malt. It's released at 44, and it is a full sherry. It's almost a sherry bomb. It's strong, strong, strong sherry. If you're thinking of like what does sherry and Scotch play like together, you're just coming off some ex-bourbon or some lighter space sides. I think you would benefit in terms of knowledge and journey. You may not like it. There is a little bit of sourness to this malt, and the finish isn't amazing, but I like it. I like it a lot. I still want to make that video that I keep hinting at, like 10 whiskeys that are always on my shelf. I will say that this has become one of them. Not because it blows my mind, but because I like it. I like the aromas, and the palate gets a little better with time. If by the time I finish both these off, I think I'll be singing its praises. But really, like critically, this is probably a 3 3/4. Which is, not a glowing mark, but so affordable, and what it delivers, it does well for me. I think I would put it against the Naked Grouse. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's kind of where I would go, and I prefer this significantly to the Naked Grouse. So thanks for tuning in. Just a kind of a quick hitter. Wanted to know, is this new label still worth getting? And for me, yes. And the nose actually added a few layers of some interesting savory spices. You guys have a great week.